Hey guys, welcome back to CSGO Biology. As per requested, this is Selangor Set 2 Paper 1. Alright, so Set 2 Paper 1. We are going to try all these questions within 1 hour. Let's do this. Okay, so guys, look at the question 1 here. Diagram 1 shows an organ that makes up the human nervous system. This is the brain. We are trying to look at the brain from the God view. That means we are going to look at the brain from these directions. Okay, you are trying to look at my brain from these directions. So what is the direction shown by the organ based on the human body orientations? How to memorize this one, guys? Very easy. We just always follow the clockwise, okay, and the sequence of the alphabet. So we always start from the left side, A, D, P, and then V. So anterior, dorsal, posterior, and ventral. If you are trying to look at your brain from upside, so the body orientation should be dorsal. Next questions. Look at question 2. Diagram 2 shows a type of tissue in humans. We have the collagen fiber and nuclei here. Now guys, by looking at this picture, it is trying to show you that this is actually the fibrous connective tissue. And this fibrous connective tissue can be included the ligaments and the tendon. So let's look at the options here. Which of the following organs is made up of the tissue? Now the answer here should be ligaments. It can be ligament or tendons. So if next time the question come out in tendon instead of ligament, you can pick tendon as well for this kind of questions. All right. So next one, question 3. So next one, question 3. Diagram 3 shows a type of beauty products that uses liposome technology to ensure the effectiveness of the product. Now guys, when you see liposome, there's something that looks like the plasma membrane is surrounding some particles inside. Now, this is actually the phospholipid. Okay, phospholipid. So the substances inside will be the product or the active substances. When we have a product like this, you just need to remember one concept. The phospholipid here is meant to protect the active substance inside the liposome so that the active substance can reach to the target cell without being destroyed by other substances, for example, like the gastric juice in our stomach. So liposome, the main functions of a liposome is to protect the active substance in order the active substance can reach the target cell. So let's look at the questions here. How does the technology help to improve the functions of the product to ensure the active substance to react faster? Now, the liposome is not involving in the reactions, so this one definitely is not the answer. Ensure the active substance is protected. Yeah, liposome is meant to protect the active substances, so 2 is correct. Ensure the minimum usage of active substances. No. Ensure the active substance reach the target organ. Yes, these are the main purpose of having the liposome. So 2 and 4 will be the answer, C. Now continue to look at question 4. Question 4. Diagram 4 shows a type of animals that can survive in an extreme environment. So this guy is a polar bear. Which of the following properties of the water enhances the survival of the animals in its habitat? So this polar bear, this animal is living in a very cold environment. It's living in a very cold environment. Okay, so which properties can help the animal to survive? So the answer here should be B, specific heat capacity of water. Now, why the answer here is specific heat capacity of water? Because as what you have learned in physics, water has a very high specific heat capacity. So which means that the water will only increase 1 degree Celsius with a lot of heat being absorbed. So the water will absorb a lot of heat, then only increase 1 degree Celsius, a lot of heat. So these properties of water can make sure the environments or the temperature of the environment can remain in a more consistent way. So they will increase the temperature during the daytime, but not much. During nighttime, they will reduce the temperature, but not much. Why? Because the specific heat capacity of the water is very, very high. They need to release a lot of the heat, then only can reduce 1 degree Celsius. Or in the other way around, they need to absorb a lot of heat, then only increase 1 degree Celsius. So they can make the environment in more consistent way. So this helps the polar bear to survive. Okay guys, so let's check this out. Question 5. Diagram 5 shows a treatment given to a patient in a hospital. So the patient needs to be given an intravenous antibiotic treatment. So guys, what is intravenous? Intravenous means you are going to put something in through your vein. Okay, so you guys can see here, it's trying to put some fluid into the veins of this patient. Now, so it is doing the antibiotic treatments, and solution X is given together with the antibiotic in the treatments. So here, this is the solution X. Then I guess this will be the antibiotic. So the antibiotic and the solution X must mix together in order to be provided to the patients here. Solution X contains 0.85 sodium chloride per 100 ml. So guys, no need to memorize this number. You just need to know whenever we want to do the intravenous thing, the solution X must be isotonic to our body, because we don't want to cause the dehydrations of the patients. So the solution must be isotonic. Then we need to find out, okay, which of the following is the justifications on the importance of giving solution X in the treatment? A solution X is universal solvent. No, this one is not the answer. Solution X can flow easily in the blood to assist antibiotic to function effectively. Not really. Hypotonic. No. Isotonic. Yes. Okay, so question 5 answer will be D, because solution X must be isotonic solution to replace the interstitial fluid and water loss from the body. So it must be isotonic. The answer here should be D. Question 6. Diagram 6 shows the breaking down of complex molecule by an enzyme. So which molecule ABCD has active site? Oh, okay. So must be the enzyme. Enzyme should have the active site here. Active site. So guys, active site is a name that you guys must memorize because it's very useful for you to write it down in your essay questions. It's very important in your essay questions. Okay, next one. Question 7. A type of thermophilic bacteria. Thermo means heat. Philic means love. A heat-loving bacteria live in a hot spring at a temperature 75 degrees Celsius and 85 degrees Celsius. Why they love the heat? Why they are able to survive at a temperature which is around 75 degrees Celsius to 85 degrees Celsius? Because the bacteria, their enzyme is able to hold together to maintain the shape at this temperature. So it means that they work well or work the best at this temperature. This is their optimum temperature. Okay, so which graph represents the activity of enzyme found in the bacteria? So the optimum temperature for the enzyme here should be 85 and 75. So donkey will be the answer. But donkey, the answer, the graph is a bit not so accurate, because the answer here should pick at somewhere here, guys. It should be picked at somewhere here. So if the temperature is too hot, the enzyme is going to be denature here. Denature. Okay. Why not the answer is A, guys? Because the enzyme activity remain constant even the temperature exceeds 85 degrees Celsius. So this is wrong. If the temperature is too hot, the enzyme is going to be denatured. So A will not be the answer. Now continue to look at question 8. Which of the following cell is produced through the process of meiosis? When we talk about meiosis, confirm reproductive cell. So this question is super easy. The answer should be D here. Diagram 7 shows the characteristic exhibited by a child with a genetic disorder. We have the slender eyes and then retarded, mentally retarded. So this is Down syndrome, guys. Down syndrome. Down syndrome. Down syndrome is caused by one extra chromosome in the 21st set of the chromosome. So this is due to a process called non-disjunction. A non-disjunctions, it happens in anaphase 1 and anaphase 2 or anaphase 2. So the idea here is when non-disjunctions happens, the homologous chromosome is not going to be separated. So they will have extra one chromosome in their 21st set of chromosome. So the answer here should be D. Okay, let's continue with question 10. The following equation shows the chemical reaction during yeast fermentation. For yeast fermentation, that one is called the alcohol fermentation. Alcohol fermentation. So in the alcohol fermentation, we should have carbon dioxide and alcohol as a product. So the answer here should be alcohol, and carbon dioxide. Okay, so the answer here should be A for question 10. Question 11. The following statements are the characteristics related to the respiratory system in the animals. Okay. Which animals is correctly matched to their characteristic? Okay, so for this kind of question, we need to look at this one by one. B is an insect, grasshopper. W is a network of capillary. Against, insect got no blood capillaries. So B is wrong. C is a fish. Fish lamella is thin. Okay, it has lamella for gaseous exchange. And then Z, the surface of the lung is folded. Fish doesn't have a lung. Okay, lungs doesn't have a lungs. So here, the final answer here should be D. Okay, question 12. An experiment was conducted to determine the energy value of blah 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 blah. Okay, so guys, you are trying to find out the calorific value of the food. Now guys, this is a question that you need to use a formula, and this formula you are required to memorize. It's not provided in the exam. You guys need to memorize it. So again, okay, any number that is related to water, you put above the line. So this one is 0.5 gram. Okay, 0.5 gram related to the food, the peanut, so we put below the line. And then we will have 20 ml of water related to water, we put above the line, times the temperature. We want to find out the differences between the initial temperature and the final temperature. So 48 minus 28 here, times the specific heat capacity of the water, which is 4.2. Related to the water, we put above the line. Okay, so if you guys want to convert it into kilojoule, you guys are going to divide it by 1000 as well. So here you press the calculator, or I press the calculator. The answer here should be 3.36. You round it off, the answer here should be B for question 12. Okay, so let's continue. Now, diagram 8 shows the leg of person suffering from lymphatic filariasis. So, which of the following is cause of the conditions here? So, we learned this before, guys. Our tissue fluid is going to send back to our body through the thoracic duct and the lymphatic duct. But if there is a parasite trying to clog the lymphatic vessels, the lymph is not going to flow back to our body. So this lymph or tissue fluid is going to be accumulated in the leg. So you will see the legs start to swell like this. So we are trying to look at the options here. Clogged blood vessel prevent the blood from flowing back. It's not talking about the blood vessel. This one is wrong. Clogged lymphatic vessel. Yeah, this one is correct. Prevent the blood. No, we are not going to talk about the blood here. So B is wrong as well. Clogged blood vessel prevent lymphatic fluid. It's not blood vessel, guys. So this one is wrong. Look at D. Clogged lymphatic vessels prevent lymphatic fluid. Yes, okay, so lymphatic fluid and lymphatic vessel are the correct one. So answer will be D for these questions. Okay, question 14. How could an individual obtain artificial immunity? Artificial immunity is the immunity that you need to get by injection. Okay, injection. We have two types of injections here, anti-serum and vaccination, granite vaccine. So yeah, receive vaccine, receive anti-serum will be the correct one, 1 and 2. Okay, so question 5. The following statements refer to the second line of defense. So fever is second line defense. Fever increases the activity of phagocyte to fight against the microorganism. So here it's going to talk about the phagocyte. Which of the following is correct about the defense mechanism? Option A. Histamine causes vasodilations that increase the blood flow to infected area. Now guys, this is correct. This is the second defense, but this is talking about the inflammations. It's talking about the inflammations. You look back to our statements here, it's actually talking about the phagocyte. Okay, phagocyte to fight against the microorganism. We should talk something about phagocytosis. Phagocytosis. So memory cells are stored, blah blah blah. This one is third line defense. And then neutrophils engulf the pathogen, idolize it with the lysozyme. So answer will be C here. Lymphocyte produce antibody. Yeah, this is the third line defense. So the answer here should be C. Question 16. The following information is about diseases related to the human nervous system, damage to the brain, failure of the functions of the motor neuron and muscle. Check this out. Okay, cerebral palsy. Yeah, so here should be this one because it's damage to the brain. So C and D are wrong. Damage to the myelin sheath in the brain. Okay, when we talk about the damage of the myelin sheath, you should know the answer already. It is the multiple sclerosis. Okay, it is the multiple sclerosis. So the answer here should be B. Okay, question 16, B. Question 17. Antara berikut is part in the nephrons ultrafiltration process occur. This one very easy, should be Bowman capsule. Okay, Bowman capsule. The following information is about a types of disease. Bones becomes weak and soft due to lack of calcium and vitamin C, occurs among children. Guys, this is the keywords. Okay, because most of the bones disease are like osteoporosis, like rickets, osteomalacia, they are related to the lack of calcium, phosphorus, and vitamin D. So this statements mentioned about occurs among children. So this one, answer should be ricket. Ricket will occur during childhood. So the answer here should be C. Which of the following cell has diploid number of chromosome? Diploid, guys, diploid is 2n. 2n. So this one you guys have to memorize, no choice. The answer here should be B, spermatogonium. It's only spermatogonium is 2n because it haven't undergoes the meiosis yet. So after that, it will undergoes meiosis and then it become N. So the secondary oocyte, spermatids, and spermatozoa, they are N here, the haploid cell. Question 20. Diagram 9 shows a growth curve of a grasshopper. PRS, don't have R, PQS only. which of the following is correct about the growth curve? Body length increases at QS. QS is here because of the soft exoskeleton. Oh, okay, I think the first option is correct. Let's look at B here. Body length increases at QS because body mass increases. Guys, why the answer here why I didn't choose option B as the answer? Because the body mass will not increase. They're just engulfing, okay, air during this period. They are sucking in all the air just to increase their body size. Okay, so they are taking in a lot of air. They are taking in a lot of air just to increase their body size before the new skeleton harden. Okay, so this questions is A. Now, question 21. Permanent tissue is a mature plant tissue that undergoes differentiation. Yup, we all know that. Which of the following is mature permanent tissue that consists of dead cell? Dead cell we always refer to xylem and sclerenchyma tissue. So here the answer here should be sclerenchyma. Yes, sclerenchyma. 21. Okay. Which of the following helps in determining the types of secondary growth of eudicots plants? Secondary growth means the plant is growing horizontally. Okay, it's horizontally. So if you want to determine, okay, you guys are going to measure the circumference of the stem and the roots of the plants. So the answer here should be A. Okay, so normally when we talk about secondary growth, it will be related to our vascular cambium. That produce the secondary xylem and secondary phloem. So the productions of the secondary xylem and secondary phloem can increase the diameter of the eudicots. So you guys need to measure the circumference of the stem and the roots of the plants. Question 23. Diagram 10 shows the cross sections of a eudicots leaf. Which of the following cells undergo photosynthesis? Okay, it should be palisade mesophyll cell, spongy mesophyll cell, as well as the gut cell. So PQR. Okay, answer is donkey. Oh yeah, guys, take notes. This schema Japan is wrong. If not mistaken, the schema Japan for this question is C. So schema Japan is wrong. The answer here should be D, because only S is the epidermis, the lower epidermis, the epidermal cell. So it should not carry any chloroplast or chlorophyll to carry out photosynthesis. Instead, R is the gut cell. Gut cell should carry the chlorophyll to carry out photosynthesis. Okay. Okay, question 24. Carnivorous plants is a plant that is able to synthesize their own food by carrying out the photosynthesis. Which of the following clarified why the carnivorous plants will trap insect to be digested by its digestive enzyme? Okay, so this one is quite popular, or this question is quite popular, because I've seen this kind of question quite many times already. Now, why the carnivores they need to eat insect? Because they choose to survive at the in the soil that is lack of nitrogen. Okay, so carnivorous plants that live in nitrogen deficient area. They choose to live here because they want to avoid competitions with other plants. So other plants that don't like to live in this kind of environment, lack of nitrogen, which is a very important nutrient for the plants. They eat the insect in order to get the nitrogens from the insect. Okay, so the answer here should be C. Okay, question 25. Diagram 11 shows the cross sections of parts of the roots of a tree. Okay, which of the following is correctly clarified incorrectly the importance of adaptations of cell X compared to cell Y? Okay, cell Y is just a normal cell. Cell X, it has a extended plasma membrane like this. Okay, why they want to do this? When you see these kind of questions in biology, you know they are trying to increase the surface area so that they can increase the diffusion rate of water or other mineral salt. So here answer should be increase the uptake of water and mineral salt. So guys, let's look at question 26. Diagram 12 shows a ringing experiment on the bark part of a tree. So for this kind of experiment, it's trying to remove the outer part of the stem, which is the flowworm. So if you guys still remember, this is how the stem looks like. Outside will be the flowworm. Okay, the red line is the flowworm, and in the middle we have the xylem. Okay, xylem will be in the middle. So this experiment is removing the outer part of the stem, which means that it removed the flowworm. So when we look at these questions, the removed part here will be the part X will be the flowworm. Okay, part X will be the flowworm. So if we check with the questions here, flowworm, xylem, wrong, xylem, wrong. So the answer here should be B or D. And then we have the X and T. The flowworm is trying to send the nutrients to the T. But then since flowworm is being removed here and the nutrients cannot be transported to the T, so it will start to accumulate here. The nutrients will start to accumulate here, and in the end T cannot receive enough nutrients, so it will start to shrink. Okay, because it has not enough nutrients. So S will swell, T will shrink. S will swell, T will shrink. So answer here should be D. Now continue to look at this question. Diagram 13 shows a news talking about the lead pollutions in Kampung Jenjarum River. Okay. So guys, lead is a heavy metals. Okay, it is a heavy metals. We are talking about the final remediations here. If you guys want to remove the heavy metals, you guys need to use the water hyacinth. Okay, so water hyacinth is something that you guys need to go and memorize. Okay, water hyacinth, this example, you guys need to go and memorize it. So you guys remember, water hyacinth can remove the heavy metals. Okay, can remove the heavy metals. Alright guys, next one. Question 28. Okay guys, let's look at question 28. Which of the following shows a response that can occur due to the mechanical stimulations of plants? So mechanical stimulation, the answer here should be seismonasty. It is actually a response when you touch a mimosa, it start to close. So that one is called the seismonasty. Okay, seismonasty. Question 29. The following statements is about phytohormones. Phytohormones are chemical substances that stimulate and coordinate the response in plants at low concentrations. Okay. Now basically this statement is useless. We look at the questions here. Based on the statement, what is the best way to make sure mangoes ripen faster? So if you want a fruit to ripen, the only answer here will be by using ethylene hormone. So here we try to find the ethylene here, place the ripened fruit. Oh, okay, so it's trying to use the methods. So let's try to look at the options here one by one. Place the mangoes together with a ripe banana in a refrigerator. Now guys, refrigerator should be a cold place. Okay, so we don't want, if we want the fruit to ripe, we are going to put them in a room temperature. Okay. Place the mangoes together with a ripe banana in a closed container at room temperature. B should be correct. Okay, should be correct. So we check the rest first. Okay, we check the rest first. Place the mangoes in a closed container in a refrigerator. No. Okay, we are not going to put them in the refrigerator. Leave the mangoes on the table at room temperature. This is just doing nothing. Okay, so D is wrong. So answer here should be B. Okay, let's look at question 30. Diagram 14 shows a pear which is formed after double fertilization. Okay, so which of the following is correct statements about the developments of the seed and the fruit of the pear? Okay, so the ovule develops into a fruit. No, okay, ovule is not going to develop into a fruit. The integument becomes a seed in the fruit. No, definitely not. The ovary wall becomes an exocarp, mesocarp, and endocarp. Basically, it's a fruit. Yes, okay. So the stigma and the star degenerate and leave a scar on the ovary wall. Yes, so 3 and 4 will be the correct answer. D for this question. Okay, question 31. Diagram 15 shows a longitudinal sections of flower. K, the stigma. Which of the following is the effect if the flower is cut at K part? You remove the stigma. Why you want to remove the stigma? Okay, once you remove the stigma, which means that the flower is no longer able to receive the pollen grain. When they cannot receive the pollen grain, okay, there's no fertilization, no double fertilization. If there is no double fertilizations, something will not happen. For example, diploid zygote is not formed in the ovule. Yes, okay, it's not formed. Pericarps and integuments are not formed. Yes, okay, because no double fertilization. The ovary is not developed into seedless fruit. Now, guys, what is seedless fruit? Now, seedless fruit still can be produced if you spray auxin on the flower. So, 3 is wrong. Embryo sac fails to produce egg nuclei. Now, guys, embryo sac will produce egg nuclei before double fertilization. So, they will carry out the meiosis, and then eventually it will start to develop through mitosis to form total egg nuclei. Okay, egg nuclei. And then eventually they are going to arrange in this way. Okay, if you guys still remember, before double fertilization. So embryo sac will still producing egg nuclei even without the stigma. So this one is wrong. So here answer should be A, 1 and 2. Okay, 1 and 2. Okay, let's look at question 32. Diagram 16 shows the Iconia species. Now guys, what is Iconia? You look at this picture, you know lah. This is actually the water hyacinth. Water hyacinth that can adapt to its wet habitat. So which of the following characteristic helps the hydrophytes? Okay, hydrophytes means hydro means water, phytes means habitat. So this kind of plants that live in water or submerged in water or floating on the water. But obviously, water hyacinth is some plants that float on the water. To make them to float on the water, they must have fibrous root to provide a large surface area so that they can float. One is wrong because succulents leaf, this kind of leaf can be found in the plants where they live in a very dry place. So since water hyacinth is living on the water, they are not lacking of water. Okay, water is a lot for them, so they are not going to store the water. There are many lenticels to enable us to exchange of gases with the atmosphere. No. Okay, this one also no. So the stem of these plants consists of light tissue and plenty of air spaces between the cell. Yes, they want to float. They are going to have a lot of air in the plants. So the answer here is 2 and 4. Okay, so question 33. This is a type of virus. Now, which of the following is correct about this virus? You guys need to recognize the face of the virus. If you look at this virus, I guess this virus will be HIV virus. Okay, HIV virus. So why? Because like the virus that attack the bacteria is the T4 bacteriophage. Okay, it's the virus that looks like this. Okay, the virus that look like this. So if talking about attacking the plants in SPM, you only learn about the tobacco mosaic virus, which looks something like this. Okay. There's a tube-like structure. Okay, the tobacco mosaic virus. So A and B confirm wrong. Okay, A and B confirm wrong. For mosquito bite, for example, like Zika virus, it looks like a ball. So this virus most likely is a HIV virus. Okay, it is a HIV virus which can be transferred through the blood transfusions. Okay, so the answer here should be D. Now continue to look at question 34. The following statements refer to the role of microorganism in a nitrogen cycle. The decomposition of that organic matter is carried out by decomposing microorganism. So what is the short-term effect if there is no decomposer? Guys, if we are not able to decompose, the protein in our body will just remain in our body. So it will not return to the soil. So the answer here, it should be the protein compound in the blood tissue of the dead organism cannot be broken down through the process of ammonifications. They need to convert them. The decomposer can convert the protein in our body to ammonium and being absorbed by the plants. So this is the job of the decomposer. Okay, let's look at question 35. Okay, 35. Now, which of the following is correct match about the root system in plant PQR? P is a cable, okay, cable root. Then Q is the prop root. Prop root, it looks like this. And R definitely is the buttress root. So let's see if we can find the answer or not. So P will be the cable, Q is the prop root, and then R is the buttress root. So answer here should be C. Diagram 19 shows a human activity that causes water pollution. We have the farm area, insecticide, industrial area, and so on. So this one will cause the nutrients to flow into the river, flow into the river. So it will lead to increases the biochemicals oxygen demand, so BOD. So if you increase the BOD level, that means the oxygen level will be less, because BOD means oxygen that is needed for the bacteria to carry out those respirations. The higher the BOD, the lower the oxygen content in the water. So yes, one, it will be correct. Disrupt the food chain of aquatic organism, yes. Maintain the photosynthesis of aquatic plants, definitely not. Surrounding temperature increases. We are talking about water, right? So if we are talking about water, 4 is not the answer. So answer here should be 1 and 2. Okay, next one. In pea plants, the allele for tall T is dominant to the allele of short. So which of the following crossing will produce plant in a ratio 1-1 short, 1-1 ratio? So when you want to produce this 1-1 ratio, if you guys are not familiar with this, you guys need to try it out one by one. Okay, so I will choose one to try. So big T, small t. So big T, small t, you produce big T gametes, and this one you produce big T and small t gamete. You try to fertilize them, you get big T. Okay, this one with this one, you get big T, small t. So both of these phenotypes will be tall plants. Okay, so answer A is not the answer. The answer here, it should be C. So let's try to do the C. Okay, you can see big T, small t, small t. It can produce two types of gametes, big T, small t, and this one can produce one type of gamete, which is small t. You try to cross them, big T and small t. Big T, small t. Okay, and then small t and small t. So small t. So one tall, one short, 1-1 ratio. So the answer here should be C for question 37. Diagram 20 shows a shape variations among the watermelon fruit. We have different type of different shape of fruit. What is the factor that can cause the variations? This one is environment. If you put them into different shape of container, it will follow the shape of the container. So question 38, it should be environment. Answer is D. Okay, question 39. Diagram 21 shows a process that causes genetic variations. It is a crossing over here. You can see they are holding their hands here. Okay, crossing over. Which of the following is correct match of the process and its genetic variations? The process is called the crossing over. Yup, it is the crossing over. Genetic variations. So for this one, we are going to look at the genetic variations, which one is really caused by the genetic variations. So colors of iris, maybe. So here the answer should be D. Okay, followed by question 40. Which of the following is the applications of DNA profiling in humans? What is DNA profiling? This is DNA profiling. We check whether the DNA band is matching with another individual or not. So it can be used to check or detect disease in the humans. Therapy for several types of cancer. It's not a therapy, it's just a detect. It's just to find out whether you are having cancer or not. We can use the DNA profiling. Productions of blood clotting factor. No. Test the compatibility of the potential organ donor and yes. Okay, the answer here should be C, because you can check whether these two DNA, the donor and the receiver, they are compatible or not by using the DNA profiling. For example, this one you put the donor DNA and then the other one you put the receiver DNA. You can see whether their DNA can match or not. Okay, in this way. Increase the resistance of against disease. No, this one is going to be DNA or genetic engineering already. So it's not DNA profiling. So the final answer here should be C. Okay guys, that's all for today's video. I hope you guys liked it and learned something from this video. Don't forget to subscribe my channels and give me a like, and I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye bye.